Yes, people. What's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today we got Kaz and Jay's going to be joining us very soon. We also got Rack in the house. We're going to be talking about the Europa League final. Manchester United in the mud. Spurs won a trophy. Arsenal fans going into meltdown. And it seems to be the year of the bird. But yeah, before we go any further, hope everyone's doing well. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. If we do have time, we're also going to maybe talk a little bit about transfers. But we're going to save all the Premier League stuff for tomorrow when I have Wolfie, some Chelsea fans, and some other people on also. So stay tuned for that. But before we go any further, Kaz, how you feeling, man? What do you call it? You're what?
It is what it is.
Hours removed from the defeat. How you feeling?
Oh, it is what it is, man. Like, what can I say? That's the only thing I can really say in it is what it is.
At any point, did you actually think you were gonna lose?
No, I said no. I didn't actually believe he was gonna lose. Like, genuinely, I literally knew though after that Brennan Johnson goal. I said it to him. Look, United can play this way. They can look like they're in some sort of control or whatever. Create a couple chances. We go, and then we capitulate. Like, we do something to ourselves, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you needed the game to stay 0-0 for longer.
Yeah, man. It's like the longer the game went on, I promise you, yeah, they were getting more knackered. They brought in defense. They had defensive substitutes. It would have went in our way. Even if it went to extra time, it was ours. It was ours. Like, no doubt about it. But it is what it is, man. I can't exactly congratulate people like Deji. To be fair, but others I can.
Why can't you congratulate Deji?
Because Deji's been he's already flip-flopped for his manager. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and it's not even like he said, you know what, I hold my hands up. It's more like, cool. Bro, he's gone from telling me about treble to a double, that he doesn't believe in his team anymore, blah 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 blah, giving it all the big un, and then just because you got a trophy he's done the whole flip side of things. I don't need to give man like that a congrats. The only ones I can kind of congratulate is this one here, or Sava in a sense, or
wait, Sava flip-flopped himself. He don't like Ange.
Nah, he still don't like Ange. He still wants him out.
Okay, George definitely.
But if he's willing to give him a chance, like, and others are saying, you know what, maybe this is what he can do, and I will give him a chance. Like, I hear it, but it's the way you come across. We'll see.
All right, put me back in your mood. You had your meltdown. You went all nuts. What do you want done at United right now?
I want us to liquidate.
You want to rip it all out and get
man. Let me go. Yeah, man. Just liquidate, bro. Start again.
Somebody tweeted Bruno's gone.
Good. Hopefully.
Garnacho. He ripped.
Hopefully, inshallah. Again, do it again, please. Run it. Lovely. I can't wait.
Harry Maguire showed up.
Get gone.
Goalkeeper.
Fucking, oh my god. Terminate his contract.
What was the manager thinking not starting some of your best players in
I'm telling you now, yeah. Having Maguire and Luke Shaw in the same side is a disaster recipe. They lose all the time. Did they not learn anything from Southgate and the Euro finals? Have they not, like, even the last flipping one that we lost, Luke Shaw was also at fault for that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how many? Bruno Fernandes, scam artist, bro, been saying it, and this is just yesterday tells me everything I need to know. I was giving him a chance. Chance gone, mate. I hope you take that Saudi, but I hope Man United say please leave, and hopefully he says to Saudi, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm hoping. I am in hope. Give me 100 to whatever millions I need. Just run it up, please. Please go. I'm begging for literally most of this team to go. I've had enough of this team. Everyone's focused too busy on the manager. Brother, I'm telling you now, these lot can't even string passes together. It don't matter what formation or what tactics you got. Can you play football, bro? No, that's the answer. A lot of them cannot play football. Simple as that.
All right, let me just go through the team yesterday.
I didn't get slapped, by the way. We lost to no shots on target and 27% possession.
But these are how the finals have been being won recently. Let's be honest. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, this one, even the Champions League final, Chelsea versus Man City, these are how finals have been being won. The team that is getting more shots, the team that's being more dominant is not necessarily winning.
What? No, I don't know. Do I have to reply to that?
Okay, you don't have to reply to that.
No, the thing is, you know, it's the age-old argument, right? Can you be controlled without the ball? I think to some extent, don't get me wrong, Spurs could barely string a pass together either. That second half was fucking pretty diabolical from both sides, right? Spurs had a couple of opportunities on counter-attack, but they messed up relatively easy opportunities. But it seemed like, and maybe a little bit, it's kind of after the fact, but Ange is saying that, you know, when you have your back four of Van der Ven and Romero and these guys together, then you can think, hey.
Well, bar testing a doggy should, for me, is like, I was asking for a long time, like, for this ref, get the fucking cards out, bro. Get the cards out, please. A doggy, how this man stepped on my man and didn't give a yellow card after committing 3 fouls. Ange done the right thing to hook this guy, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's just every single time, man. There's no, but it's not the point. Regardless of Ahmad doing him up like 5 different times, there's always about another 2 players ready to basically surround him.
They covered off the Ahmad threat pretty well, to be fair. Like whenever he did get some space, there was always a second body covering, and that's what you need to do. Right?
Besides Ahmad and Lenny Euro, you want the whole team gone.
And Kobe, the rest of them can probably go.
Mazraoui too.
And
the irony, and him.
The irony is Kobe's probably one of the people on the chopping block, right? He's one of the people that they're talking about selling.
I mean, if a good offer comes in, I mean, look, I'm not a big protector of Kobe. I'm going to be honest. If a good offer comes in, I'm selling him. Just because we need it, and I like a lot of our other youngsters that we have in the crop, in the academy that's ready to go. Anyways, brother, respectfully, like, I'm not player FC, bro. Whatever's best for the team, innit?
Yeah.
I've had enough of this outlook of this whole squad. Do you get it? The more you can chop, the better. But the ones that can't play football need to go first.
You know what? We're gonna come back to the managers in a second, but before we go to the managers, Jay, what are you saying? Congratulations, Spurs win the trophy.
And round of applause, Jay. It's been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time coming.
Postecoglou wins Tottenham the Europa League. He delivered on his promise. You must be very happy.
Yeah,
I sent you a message. First thing you say is "little trophy."
I was like, no, I didn't being disingenuous here. Like, I think it was more like, oh, little old trophy for Spurs. Listen, I'm grateful. Like, I think it's one of those things where, like, I think when you don't win for a while, you forget what it's like to win. And I genuinely think Arsenal fans are in that situation a little bit, because when we have Poch and stuff, like, we were just enjoying, but like, there's something different about like winning, and obviously all sins are forgotten when you win. Do you know what I mean? So I like, do you think I care we lost 21 games this season? No. Like, it really doesn't. It should obviously factor into your assessment of how Ange has done. But I'm like, if 2 years ago when Ange came in, you said, listen, you've just finished 8th. You've just sold Kane. Yeah. But you're going to finish 5th and you're going to win the Europa League in the next 2 years. I'd say you've done well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd say you've done well, and you've managed to transition. So I'm delighted. I think there's something to be said where you got to get the weight off your neck. I feel like in the game if United was smart, they could have really just turned the screw. That first 5-10 minutes, we looked nervous as hell. Like, we looked shook in that first 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, miscuing the ball, not able to pass. But the guys got it together. And this goes back to what I was saying to Kaz a few weeks ago and stuff, is like, the way Ange and Amorim approached this game manifested itself in how the teams played. Amorim made it so well, this isn't gonna save the season. But Ange made it like, listen, you can go down in history. You can be on the wall. And I think you could see in the desire to not concede and be motivated. So yeah, fantastic for the club. Biggest trophy North London's seen for the last 20 years. There you go. So I can't say fairer than that. It's like I am very grateful that Man United took it upon their infinite wisdom to put the heritage aside for one night and let little old Tottenham not be Spursy and get over the line. I do appreciate it, because I know you Cat A clubs can just swap us Cat B and C clubs away whenever you want. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But for the time being, just gotta enjoy it.
You know something?
As a neutral, as a neutral, obviously,
You're not no
I
neutral.
want
Don't
to
do that.
No,
You're
but
not
I'm neutral in the sense, like obviously I'm not involved, right? I'm not involved, but obviously I don't want Man United to win the trophy. I don't want Man United to win any trophies. No, but you know what I mean. I'm not directly involved in the game, right? But when I looked at the game beforehand, both teams have had poor seasons in the league. It seems like United have got worse and Spurs have got worse as the league season's gone on. So they've kind of shown they have a degree of quality in the Europa League, but you just never really know. But Spurs had won the last previous 3 games, including one this season, or 2 this season even. And you just kind of felt like, you know what, United, they do have some European heritage, right? That I think that to some extent that does mean something. I don't think that's a zero factor. Yeah. You just kind of feel like in the final somehow United will get over the line. And I didn't want to admit, I didn't want to think about it, but I just thought, you know what, it's just a bit annoying that after all of this, United still, after having such a poor season, United is still going to get Champions League football. Obviously, I was very happy that it didn't happen, but I don't know. You got like Ange, what a guy, man! He made the Nostradamus-esque prediction, and he made it work. So yeah, big up Spurs, and it just made the summer a little bit more kind of banterous for everybody involved.
Definitely. From my point of view, I'm just like, when I look at it as well, it's going into the game. Like I don't think United fans saw the kind of stuff that I was seeing from our team, like the way we were talking and the way that, like, I was quite confident, and I was just saying the little things to me kind of Johnson again. Sorry. And so it's the little things, yeah. It's like, so we were in 17th place. Yeah. It's been 17 years since we won a trophy. Like Romero, man of the match, number 17. Like, it's like all the teams. Look, bro, honestly, it's like all the teams have birds in them. Like, I was like, listen, like,
this is the craziest thing that football is. Most people are generally speaking quite logical, right? But football does this something to you when you start looking at all these like numerology and fucking signs and birds winning trophies.
Isn't it crazy?
That's how the script writers in football
every team in England that won a trophy this season has a bird in their as their logo. That's crazy.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like, I'm saying that it's just, for me, it's just amazing. It's great. It's a great, and I think the Europa League will become a little easier to win.
When Palace won it, didn't you feel like, you know what, we could do it too?
I was like, I didn't want to be the team that flops it. Like Newcastle did it and Palace did it. If anything, it put more pressure on us. Like I was like, oh my God, we really need to do this. N17 postcode as well. Thanks, CY. So a lot of the 17s, a lot of like little things. Like you look back at the miss last season. If you basically told me going into that game against Arsenal last season that Son would miss a one-on-one that would cost Arsenal the league, but because you missed that one-on-one, you go into the Europa League and consequently win that to lift Son's first trophy, I take that probably. I take that. So honestly, this is just just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying it. There's no real analysis that you need on a game like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've always thought that if you play in a cup match, the losers can analyze the game. The winners don't care. You know, the winners have the trophies. The winners have won the game. I remember when we lost to Liverpool, I'm sure I was like, maybe Kane should. Everything. It's like we had Son coming back from injury and didn't start him. Whereas in the Champions League final versus Liverpool, we had Kane coming back from injury and he did start him. It's all these little things that like add up to this. So yeah, man, it's definitely an amazing achievement for the club.
You know what? Let me just say one thing. I looked at this game and I said to myself, Ange set up very well, and Ruben, I just felt like he gambled with a team that I don't think he played many times this season. Where you guys kind of went with the old trusted and true pretty much in majority of the areas. The back line especially, the front three, I kind of felt like Richarlison was the only option there. The midfield, maybe you never played that midfield, but Kaz, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Has Mason Mount and Ahmad and Højlund ever played together? Have you ever had a game where Luke Shaw started in a long time? Like,
Yeah, last game, Chelsea.
What?
Yeah, Chelsea. There you go. There's one.
Okay, so he started. So Mason Mount and Ahmad started versus Chelsea.
Bro, it all went wrong when Højlund started up front. Like, let's just get one thing straight. It all went wrong when he starts up front. Xerxes comes on, yeah, hasn't played in weeks, yeah, and he creates 2 chances in 4 minutes. Into Bruno, missed straight away pretty much. Like, obviously he flicked it on, or the one for Garnacho on the left, he starts it all off. It's like, you've created already 2 chances in 5 minutes. Honestly, it's like, oh, what else would you have gone for with Højlund? Not my problem. I don't get paid 10 to 15 million or whatever the hell he's on, 9 million per year to work that one out. It's you know what? Amorim has just shot himself in the foot. The fact that you're playing Luke Shaw with Maguire, which is a horrible recipe in the first place, what the hell are you doing? Right? What are you doing? You're better off playing, because if you thought that you knew that you're gonna have most of the ball, you might as well put Luke Shaw at wing back at least, because he's got the better delivery. At least, just get him away from the defense. At least, not next to Maguire. Back post Luke Shaw. Oh my god, how many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen it when he's trying to defend, whether it's against Italy or the last flipping Europa League? It's the same thing with these two. Absolute chuckle brothers, including Lindelof. Who would you put there? I would have put Mazraoui there. I would have went attacking a little bit more. This is where I look at Agate and Casemiro and thought, you know what? I would have probably moved Bruno Fernandes up there. Because he was useless in the end. And it was useless. He's the one that lost the fucking ball in the 8. But people think they can't do it against Tottenham. What are you going to do against any other Prem team? Huh?
Is the manager under pressure also?
Of course he is.
You have to be.
You have to be, bro. I'm not being funny. You're part of the reason why we've lost the final, a collective reason, and also, like, bro, we're 16th.
Is he?
That's the thing. Like, look, the Jurgen Klopp's first season when he came in, we got to the Europa League final as well. We also lost, but he came in.
We were up and bottled the lead, right?
No, he took over when we were 8th and we finished 8th.
No, I mean, in that game, you are at least up at some point.
Well, yeah, Sturridge scored, and we were 1-0 up at half, just before half time, and they scored immediately after half time to make it 1-1. So, but the point is that at least to some degree in terms of the league, like, Klopp stabilised us. We made more or less, we were chugging on at the same level, and obviously the following season we started improving. Like, I don't know if Ruben's intentionally done it, but the league form has nosedived, like, considerably, right? Like, you don't get where United are just by luck. I remember that the season after we won the league, we went on a run of, like, losing, I think, 6 out of 7 games or whatever, and it was in the middle of the season, and when we recovered and we got top 4. United have been kind of on that similar type of form pretty much since Amorim has come in. It's
United haven't won back-to-back games this entire season.
One thing I wanted to add
in the league, yeah.
As I take a celebratory. No, we don't advertise alcohol on this stream. But yeah, the game. I remember Kaz when Amorim first came in, and I remember saying, "Rah, why did these guys not just get Conte? Yeah, because I was like,
how can we get Conte away from Napoli at that point?
no. What when you got Amorim in the first place, as in like to hire him, like as in like
Yeah, but we wouldn't have got Conte. He was already settled and already at the top of the league.
Conte
With
was already in
Napoli.
a title
what I'm
challenge.
trying to say is that if you want, there's better. There's Tuchel, there was Conte. Do you see what I'm getting at? I'm basically saying
You mean in the summer?
I think like you pick, as in to keep Ten Hag, like you know these guys went earlier. It was almost like Amorim to come in, because I've seen Conte come in to a Spurs team that was a back four team and get us Champions League first season. So I know it's possible, you know, but
No,
then,
it's, yeah, but you're missing key context there already.
why? Because you think we had Kane or something? No,
You had Kane and Son, who's going to score you goals regardless. Like, I mean, talking just any goal. We're talking
right,
two creators and two goal scorers that mesh quite well. I mean, there's no buts. Yeah, when you've got a front three, there's no but. No, there is no buts when you've got Højlund, because you've got Højlund up front regardless.
Right, Kaz, but it's called platforming. Yeah, your manager is platforming. You platform players that can give you output.
Who? Let me know.
Okay, so
how many times do you have to go through this per year?
Bro, listen, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is
that no, you're not. Answer the question.
What do you mean? What
answer the questions. What the players that are going to give us enough output?
Well, I'm saying you got rid of Rashford, yeah?
Yeah, that was his decision. That was
the manager's decision. Yeah,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a club decision. Right, okay, the relationship was already gone. The relationship was already gone. That's not stupid, man.
Okay, so your club made the decision to get rid of.
Yeah.
And not replace.
Well, let me know what goals he was scoring even for us.
So you're saying that what? So getting rid of Anthony and Rashford from the squad was better than having them in the squad.
I mean, right now, probably in hindsight, no, yeah. But the fact is, yeah, Rashford in the space of the whole season of last year and this season that we was coming up to scratch with, the guy wasn't giving us anything. Yeah. Right. Anthony had 1 or 2 GA for a whole calendar year. Like in hindsight, so back then, I mean, when you deep it, Anthony probably had a much bigger role to play at United than what we obviously, then probably we thought he could have probably done a wing back role with Ahmad or swapped and probably formed a
couple of games of wing back. All right,
it's easy to say that now, yeah. It's easy to say that now, of course. But the fact is, yeah, is that Anthony wasn't performing and a lot of these other guys weren't performing. And guess what? None of them are giving us goals like the way Conte came in and obviously got you rejuvenated, because you still got Harry Class Kane, and you still got Son, and obviously you still had other pieces that were chipping in with goals here and there. Anyways,
but the team was platformed accordingly. Like it was Dyer and Davies were regulars in that defense. Emerson was a regular wing back. Doherty was our left wing back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, so whilst people will look at the highs of that team, the lows of that team were also lower than the United lows. Like we had more players in our starting that wouldn't get near your starting 11 at the moment. So I'm looking at it from the point of view of saying sometimes, like, you know how you criticize Ange last year of like not adapted enough, you know, just playing his way. Do you think Amorim is guilty of that, or are you putting it purely down to the ability for players to finish and score goals and stuff like that? Because you're right. Maybe I'm being too unfair on the squad you've got, or is it about both? What do you think?
No, it's both. It's both of them, bro. Like the players can't play regardless of how you want to mix and match it, but you could find another way of playing, if that makes sense. Like, look, you know that Højlund is not going to give you anything. Look, if you're not going to give you goals, what else is he giving you? Pretty much nothing. Yeah. So why didn't you adapt to maybe, instead of having these 2 10s, maybe have 2 up front, maybe have Xerxes in as dropping as a false 9. It might give more room for someone like Garnacho to play his best way in terms of running in behind a little bit more and have a bit more of a focused 10. Yeah. Maybe you never know, in it, that kind of thing. Like I think he just didn't want to adapt. Like, and that stubbornness is very worrying. I'm not gonna lie, because you want to see your manager adapt. Like, we get it. You want to play a certain way, and these men can't do it. We've been seeing this for weeks and weeks and weeks, that the ones that you're profiling clearly can't do what's required.
You know what someone said to me? No matter what. Someone said to me, Erik Ten Hag wins that final.
No, he does. But the thing is, Erik Ten Hag wouldn't have got us into that final.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Because if you remember our first 3 games of Europe, we drew all of them in very bad fashion, by the way. he wouldn't have got us there. So it doesn't. It's so easy to say, oh, but if this manager was there, yeah, but we weren't going to get there with him. It was going to capitulate at one point. And actually, even though you'd remember, he gets scumbagging little W's here and there, even at the start of the season, even though he was already on like 7 losses or 6 losses or some crap like that. Anyways, I think we had like, I can't remember. We were sitting in like 10th or 13th or some crap, but it would have went downwards anyways, because we would have probably conceded a lot more goals under Ten Hag than we did Amorim anyway, regardless. So that's the way I view it, and not enough would go that way. Look, we lost to the worst West Ham team assembled at that point in time under Lopetegui. We still lost, even though we had chances. We still lost. Like, that sounds like Man United now.
I think that's got robbed by the refs.
Ten Hag, I don't like this revisionism of Ten Hag. Like, it's a major problem. The thing is,
when you say revisionism, Cass, like it's almost, is it revisionism if the same players that are now deemed not good enough for Amorim could also not been good enough for Ten Hag? And you could say, hey, you shouldn't have bought them, but that could also be labeled on the transfer committee. Do you see what I mean?
But the thing is, because of the contract he was given and what he's had as powers, this is what he built. Do you get the whole thing? By the way, is what he built and wanted, and that's now go and do what you need to do to go win with this squad. You didn't need to go and get Mount, by the way, when you needed a ball playing defensive midfield and a lot of
Mount was a bad signing.
You didn't need to naturally go get a Nana when goalkeepers were. I know it was a little bit like, what goalkeepers do you get? I mean, I'm pretty sure you can go find one for a lot cheaper.
You probably should have got Sommer in the first place.
Maybe. But there's so much different things we can say. One sec. Caicedo. Remember, the scouts brought him up. We said no. Remember, again, we'll go again. Julian Alvarez, scouts brought him up. 15 million. We said no. Then 6 months later, City come and go and get him. Bro, our scouts have been saying a lot of these other players. And Ten Hag said no to a lot of these players. They valued Anthony at 30 million. They didn't want to even get Casemiro in. But in hindsight, Casemiro was probably the right sign, the overpriced. But you probably could have got 2 players for the price of Casemiro. What are you doing? Why are you not listening to scouts? Because Ten Hag was so obsessed with doing what he wanted to do. And that was the start of it. It ended up in a pretty good season. But the following season is like, cool, now how do you build upon that? You need athleticism, a bit of PMP, and you need goals. You need more goals. What do you go and do? Like, bro, they had to go and convince him to go and buy a Garte, to be fair. In hindsight, Garte is probably the wrong signing overall, because you could have got someone for a lot cheaper, aka Sander Berg. But it's like, but you need goals. But you wanted Xerxes. But why did you not want to go get more goals? You could have got Kudus for 30 million, but you wanted Anthony instead.
You could have got Osimhen.
No, but the thing is, you can't use this whole like other managers thing, right? Because when people do the other manager thing with you, you say no, right? When people say, "Oh, you should have kept Emery," right? But we all know at that time it was getting ridiculously toxic with Emery. When Ten Hag was there at the start of this season, okay, you had, I think, maybe won the first game, but it got untenable, just like it got with Emery.
So what now for them in the summer?
Us, in my opinion,
liquidate.
Yeah, in my opinion, is like, obviously it looks like we're getting Cunha regardless. That's great, and it looks like we're going all in for the lap to go and convince him. I don't even think Chelsea want him anymore, considering they want João. They're quite advanced allegedly with like Ekatike negotiations and João Pedro as options. So it might look like a 1-horse race quite for the lap at the moment. Maybe because he's not going to go Newcastle, is it? When Isak's there, and I don't know any other team yet.
Your transfer budget and the caliber of
player. By the way, our budget ends with Cunha and Delap.
What about your
without sales? Without sales,
you're not going for Gyökeres anymore. You're not going.
No. I wouldn't know how to get Gyökeres. I mean, don't get me wrong. You probably could stretch the budget for Gyökeres, but I don't think that's the right move. I think right now you need to be focusing on what's a little bit more prem proven. You need a little better footballers on the pitch, bro. You need right now. You can't think you're going to get the best of the best. Stop doing those signings. Go get what you need that's already prem-proven, and then you can find other missing pieces. Right now, your attack needs prem-proven goals at least minimum. And whatever goes from there is probably a coaching thing. Look at Delap and Cunha. Already both got a bit of PMP about them and both very technical players. Has got a lot to grow into, but Cunha's obviously going to probably hit the ground running, in my opinion. But you need more than that. What happens when Cunha's not on the pitch, or he's got a red card maybe, or whatever? What comes after that? So now you got to go look at these other budget versions that we got to find. When I say budget, I don't mean budget version of Cunha. I mean players that are obviously priced at a lower fee. Now you can go abroad and say, you know what? like I keep saying his name, but Cherky's worth 25 million roughly in average. You're gonna have a big fight for him. Yeah, but they want Wirtz more, so I'm not really fussed about that. But the thing is, it's going to be a tussle. It don't matter even if Liverpool want him or not. Well, I think they're going to get Wirtz. What's it called?
I'd be shocked if we signed Cherky. I'd be flabbergasted.
Yeah, but the thing is with him,
I'd be surprised because Bayern are interested, right? But it seems like he might be there. We'll see.
Okay, so anyway, what is winning the Europa League change? Does it change Tottenham's transfer window, their summer?
Of course it does.
Ange? What does it do for Tottenham?
That big, it's huge, bro. It's like I feel like people are underestimating. Spurs were able, even last summer, like I think it just came out that Destiny Doué was at Tottenham's training ground last summer.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
he was. I remember. I think I made a video about it.
Yeah, and it was just PSG pipped us at the post. So we were able to identify and see talent like that where we were.
Archie Gray. First like season at Spurs, he's done under adversity. He's done really well, I think. Not perfect by any means, but
yeah. So we went a little bit young last summer, but the squad's kind of there. So now we can just add like just 4 or 5 experienced players to the squad, and that'll make a big difference to the team. And
what about Ange? That's the big question.
I've been quite open on the thing all season. I was always like, we'll evaluate it at the end of the season. Some fans were like, you gotta sack him, I've always thought, listen, a lot of the fans who were the loudest about sacking Ange were also a lot of fans who didn't rate finishing top 4, didn't rate finishing top 3, were saying we weren't winning enough trophies. So I always felt there was a level of hypocrisy in that. And I was like, a lot of those fans were also blamed Levy for not sacking Mourinho, but then also wanted to sack Ange before he'd had the opportunity to complete the Europa League. Do you see what I mean? So it's almost like, oh, so it's okay for you to, it's okay. When is the line for you to sack the manager? Oh, you want to sack him before the quarterfinals? You want to sack him before the semis? Okay, why is Levy not allowed to sack him before the final? At what point is the
acceptance? The last time you did that, you lost.
But the thing is that, like, I always find it ironic that fans have always criticized the board and Levy for not doing enough in terms of spending money and doing the extra thing. And the one thing that got us over the line this time was doing nothing, not sacking the manager, just leaving it when things were going badly. There's almost a certain irony to that. But I think, it's going to make a big difference to the club. We're European champions now. That's something you can't
take. Europa League champions.
Yeah, that means we're European
champions of Europe. You will never see that.
Why are you policing it?
That's what I'm trying to say,
bro. They're European champions, whether you like it or not.
The team that wins the championship can't call themselves champions of England.
But they championed the even if it's a B-Tech version, they championed it. It's like saying, okay, but if the champions, you call them like, okay, who won the league?
West Ham champions of Europe, man. West Ham champions of Europe.
West Ham are still champions of England in their respective league.
If Chelsea win the Conference League, are we going to call them UCL champions?
No, hold on. But be clear what I said. I said we're European champions. I didn't say we're champions of Europe.
No, but
that's true. That's quite true.
I didn't say we're champions of Europe. I said we're European champions. There's a difference between what I said and how you.
You didn't read the small print.
All right. Okay, you know what? How about this? Arsenal still had a better season than Tottenham. Based on that.
No, wait, hold on. Let me dissect this before it goes left.
Take it down,
it's as simple as this. Yes, you had a better season, but you didn't have a more successful season.
I agree.
There you go then. Now, does that make you happy?
You know something? Tottenham fans are probably happier.
We can do better than that.
You know what it's there, yeah. I can't be asked to hear it. I've heard it.
You must have had a lot of these today, Kaz.
1 second.
Tottenham
fans are probably happier.
It's like, just say, you know what? Well done, Tottenham. You done better than what my manager could do. Done. Which is win.
I think you had a better league campaign than Tottenham. There you go. You had a better league campaign than Tottenham. Because at the end of the day, Egal, we won a European trophy. We went further than you in the FA Cup. We went the same round as you, semi-finals in the League Cup. So you had a better league campaign than us. That's it. That's it.
You finished 17th.
Bro,
No,
you
no,
had a
but-
better league. I've conceded you had a better league campaign than us.
But success is based on what your objectives are, right? Arsenal's objective this season was what, Egal?
To win the league.
Okay.
Did you succeed or did you fail?
No, we failed.
Okay.
Spurs' objective this season was what?
I said 4th to 6th in the league and win a trophy. We succeeded.
I think win a trophy above anything, right?
Yeah.
Did they achieve it? Did they achieve it or did they fail?
They achieved it.
So they achieved their objectives and you didn't.
Okay, so I think this is subjective. This is what I'm saying. Trophy's great.
That's not objective.
No,
You failed to meet your objectives, and they met their objectives. So that's not a matter of opinion. That is a fact.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
First things first. PSG, every season, their objective is to win the league, right? And win the Champions League. If they fail to win the Champions League, but they still win the league and the what do you call it? Whatever other trophy.
Why are we giving PSG as an example? PSG is like a bit of a weird example, right?
I'm giving you an example.
Why use that?
Okay, let me give you a team right now. Inter Milan, high expectations. They're supposed to win the league. They're one of the best teams in Italy. They're in a cup final. They lost. They're also in another final, semi-final. They lost, and now they're in the Champions League final. If they don't win the Champions League final and they lose, does AC Milan have a better season than them because they won the Supercoppa?
They had a more successful season.
Yeah, they might be more successful, but Inter have had the better season, even though they leave the season with no trophy.
The funny thing is, Egal, that from my point of view is, I'm the one person you can't say this to, yeah, because I support a club that's done second place, that's been Champions League runners-up. So I know I can answer this question to you right now. Jay, would you rather make the Champions League final or finish second or finish 17th and win a Europa League? And in a one-off comparison, I promise you it's 17th in the Europa League because I've done both. Do you know what I mean?
The AC Milan example you gave, what was AC Milan's objective? Was AC Milan's objective to win the Supercoppa Italiana, or was it to do more? If it was to do more, if all they wanted to do was win the Supercoppa, fine.
And
then you can argue. I don't think it was. So it's not just about the trophy. It's about your objective at the start and you achieving your objective or failing to meet your objective.
All right.
Liverpool's objective next season is to win the league again.
You know something? I'll say this. Spurs had the more successful season. Spurs fans are happier than Arsenal fans today.
Yeah.
And based on that, if you want to say it's better, fair. But in my opinion, based on the league and the season as a whole, for majority of the season, Arsenal fans had a better season than Tottenham. It just happens to be they finished it off.
But let me just ask: did you really? Because when the season started, you were already playing catch up to Liverpool. So all season you've been chasing Liverpool's coattails. Yeah.
Yeah, but all season you've been
hold on. Let me just speak on Arsenal fans being a bit disingenuous towards it.
You think the meltdown from Arsenal fans is unfair?
No, I think that it's justified because let's look at it like this. You can talk about the Europa League all you want, yeah? But who knocked you out of the FA Cup? Man United, yeah? So there's no guarantee that you would have won the Europa League if you were in it, considering a team that was in the Europa League beat you in the... When you played Sporting in the Europa League under Amorim, you lost, yeah? When you played Olympiacos, you lost. When you played Villarreal, you lost. But you had the audacity to look at us, 1-1. Ange has been in the Europa League once and he won it once. Arteta was in 3 times and won it 0 times. You are 1 trophy out of 5 European attempts, 6 FA Cup attempts, 6 Carabao attempts. So that makes 17 attempts you had to win a trophy and you've won 1. So do I understand why some Arsenal fans are a bit upset? Yeah, because the timer in Gal. How many days has it been since Tottenham won a trophy? It's been less than 24 hours, bitch. And I want to say that in terms of the rest of the top 6, the timer is now longest on Arsenal. You are the longest. You are the club in the top 6 that has gone the longest without winning a trophy now. We passed the baton on to you. Yeah? We passed it over to you. Over to you.
You know something?
Yeah, the top 6. Yeah, the top 6. You're the longest waiting.
The saddest part about this is before today, Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool fans online already looked at us as Spurs. They kind of didn't look at Spurs, but now people have more of a reason to do that.
Yeah, love that. Thanks for that. You know what, Jay, that made me happy. That made me a little bit happy. I must say. You know what it is because
that's something for you to work with.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. You know what? You know what? There's sportsmanship in football YouTube sometimes, and I must say, that was a great assist. I must admit, and
you know, one thing I noticed, Man United fans themselves, Kaz, were deflecting away from the defeat by making fun of Arsenal.
So
one thing everyone comes together with is making fun of Arsenal.
Yes.
Oh well.
So oh well. If it makes me, I don't care. Like, do you know what I mean? If it makes me feel more happy, then so be it. Do you get it? Because at the end of the day, your manager's in a tussle between Sesko and Gyökeres, and if you dare choose Sesko, you might as well kiss another trophy goodbye.
You know what? Let's talk about that.
And Egal, you're also drowning your sorrows because you're saying, yeah, okay, Tottenham won, but they still haven't had a better season than Arsenal, right? If it's the same, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Let me just say what Kaz said right there. Arsenal should pick Gyökeres, and I think it's a mistake if we take Sesko.
But just before that, Egal, that's the thing now. It's like, and I want to just say, Kaz makes a good point about, because it's like, if you have Sesko, why do you want another? Like, you keep. I've seen the Rodrigo as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like you're addicted to not having the expectation of winning. You know, like when you buy certain players, the level goes up. I told you before, you were talking about Rodrigo, and I said to you, you can't buy a player like that. You won't take the level of expectation that comes with buying that player. And lo and behold, I go on BBC Sport, and what do I see? Trossard getting a new contract. I say, Trossard's getting a new contract. Cool. How many extra years? None. I say, what? You're just giving them a pay rise. I said, what? I'm giving Trossard a pay rise. I said,
I don't think Trossard's not a bad option, though. Let's be honest, man.
Let me ask you this, yeah? You're giving Trossard a pay rise. You're saying, Trossard, you're going to play less because we're going to bring more players in. So you are giving this player more money for less work. Why?
I mean,
one second, because there's a move up to Saudi on the books for him, and he could leave next season on a free or very cheap this summer, and we don't want to lose him.
You're not extending his contract.
Yeah, but even then, he's let's be real. Yeah, the pay rise won't be in hand.
I don't know if you know, Jay.
His like $90 a week.
In 2026, we're extending it for one more year.
That tells me everything I need to know about Martinelli. Martinelli must be up for sale this summer.
Martinelli, if we get an offer of 50 million and more, he's for sale.
50 million.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, Brendan Johnson went for that. I mean, 60 or more, so I hear it.
Listen. Sorry, but the point is like you're saying about this but we know, yeah, you're gonna buy one forward, yeah. I know this in my heart, yeah.
No, we're gonna get a left winger and a striker.
No, you're not, man. Listen, you've got Jesus, you've got Havertz, you've got
once again. Stop. Jesus is not kicking the ball for Arsenal again.
What are you talking about?
His contract is up.
Bro, his contract is not up, and you always do this, bro. We've had so many conversations about transfers, and you never see the wood from the trees. Yeah, you are not a club that stockpiles attackers. Yeah, you're a club. You've got 2 number 9s. All right, you're gonna buy another
James.
Yeah,
James is contracting up for 2 more years.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna buy another number 9. All right, what are you gonna do with Jesus? He's gonna have to.
Jesus is injured until January.
Yeah, so then you either sell him in January, which probably no one's gonna. People want to see him come back and play a little before buying him because it's a bit of a risk buying someone straight off an ACL. Or more likely, you'll sell him next summer. You'll sell him next summer.
So
these are our attacking. these are our
Bro,
attacking
listen,
options right now.
Bro, listen,
Leandro Trossard,
I know,
Martinelli.
I can't hear, by the way. You keep.
Okay, these are our attacking options right now,
bro,
right?
I know what your attacking options are. Yeah, I've been watching how you build your squad for the last 3 years. You're trying to tell me that you've got Martinelli, you've got Trossard, and you're
There's
going
a
to
new cook in the kitchen.
Are you going to bring Rodrigo in, whose best
There's a
position?
new cook in the kitchen.
Cook in the kitchen.
Bro, how does
There's a
that
new
work? Well, that's what I'm
there's
saying. Bro,
100 places in the building.
Egal, be logical here. Be logical.
Oh my
If you
God.
keep both of those left wingers, how are you going to bring in another left winger?
I'm not saying we're gonna sign 2 left wingers. I'm just saying we're gonna get Rodrigo.
You're going to buy a right winger then. So
We're
you're
gonna get
buy a right
Rodrigo
winger
and a
who's
striker.
alternating with Saka. Okay,
I think
might believe that.
I personally think the 2 players we should get are Gyökeres and Rodrigo. If we get
How are
Gyökeres,
you going to get Rodrigo if you're keeping Martinelli and Trossard?
we might sell one of them, but
You're not
regardless,
going to sell one of them. Who wants Martinelli?
No, I'm not being funny. I wouldn't say Martinelli would be short of suitors. To be fair, I can personally see Martinelli in the
with
Italian
his
league.
pace, I think he fits into a lot of teams.
I think he fits into. I'm gonna agree in the Italian league. I think that's where his whole name is Martinelli. Of course, he's a fake Brazilian, bro. Like he's over there, bro.
Martinelli's on how much a week? Martinelli's on over 200k a week. Yeah, he costs 60 million plus.
He's
How
on
much-
what? Wait, hold on. He's
Wait,
on what?
Martinelli's on 80k. What are you talking about?
What?
Yeah, Martinelli ain't on that much money.
Martinelli's on big money.
Let me check this quickly. According to
Maybe
this,
I'm exaggerating him at like maybe 20k or something, but
he's on. Oh my god, he's on 180k per week.
yeah, he's on 180 grand a week.
Oh my goodness gracious me! You know what, Jay? Fantastic.
That's what I'm
profile
trying to say.
knowledge.
You guys, so you think the club is paying 60 million pounds for
That's
Martinelli
mad.
and 100 grand a week? No,
That's
you're
base.
keeping that guy. You are
Yeah,
keeping
he's
that
not
player.
going. He's not going nowhere, bro.
Bro, listen, whether people so maybe he's on between 150 and 180.
No, he's on
Let's-
180. Apology says 180, so we're gonna go with that for
Okay,
now.
I'll split the difference. Let's call it 165. Yeah.
It's 180.
No, it's one. No, we're gonna split between 180 and 200 now, Jay.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what
All
we're
right.
doing.
Listen, okay, the guy's on 180. Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
180 a week. He's gonna charge 60. Martinelli, what? Like, no offense, I don't know the guy, but he doesn't strike me as a player that's going to Saudi. Yeah, so that leaves a limited. That's what people don't understand about Premier League players. There's a limited number of clubs that can buy your players, and they have to be in great form in real time. Like, and that's what you guys aren't understanding.
Yeah, but only when they
Like,
that's why I say they don't get 50 million. They won't get 50 million for him because he's on such a high salary. If you are to sell him, you probably have to drop that wage a bit.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm trying to
it's
say.
worthwhile their time and Martinelli's time and so forth.
That's why, Kaz, do you understand now why I was flabbergasted that they're doing Trossard's contract? Because
that's mental. You know, it's
that's
quite
your
right,
chance to sell Trossard 25-30 million.
And he's got 2 years.
Go sell Trossard and go get Rodrigo. Prove that you can be
well, that's funny. It's funny you say that though, because there's a lot of. This is what makes me think Martinelli's going, yeah, potentially, as well. Like, and he's got suitors. I don't think Martinelli would be short of suitors. I'll be real, yeah. He's got something to offer the world of football.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the number of clubs that can pay the money is limited, right? Because the number of clubs out there who can pay a £60 million transfer fee, if that's what Arsenal are going to want 50, 60 million, minimum 50 they want, right?
Minimum.
How many clubs, apart from PSG in France, who can pay 50 million?
Maybe
No
Napoli. Maybe Napoli.
But PSG wouldn't look at a player like him.
In France. In Italy, I think you'd struggle with Juve at the moment because I don't think they're in the best financial health.
They want Rasmus Højlund.
I just say this quickly? You guys kind of hijacked the show. I wanted to just say this. I think I think there is some truth to what you're saying. Obviously, if we have Trossard and we ask him to stay this summer and as things stand, but I think it's going to be a situation where we look at some of these guys and we say to them, "Yo, there's going to be a lot of minutes available, and we're going to need a deeper squad." Arteta's looking at the team. He looks around and he says to himself, "I got Saka, I got Ethan, I got Trossard, I got Martinelli. That's pretty much your wingers sorted." I currently have Kai Havertz, who I could use in the midfield and I could use as a striker. Outside of that, you have no other attacking striking option. So we're definitely going to get a striker. Left wing, I don't think we go into next season with both
without one
and Martinelli, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And if we do, we still have to go and sign either a left winger or an attacking midfielder like
Or
an
both.
Eze, who's capable of also playing on the wing.
Yeah, you need it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think you're gonna find Martinelli's probably gonna have a lot of interest. 35 to 40 million. I'm gonna call it now. Yeah, 35 to 40 million. He will end up at another club.
Arsenal-
What I would do if I was
He's a
Arsenal,
hard-working winger. I can see him
Arsenal's not gonna
athletic.
spend less than 50 million.
But if
I-
they do that, then this is why you lot are fucking spastics, then, isn't it? Because honestly, he's
Look,
his wage. You need to go. You need to get rid of him. You need a new left winger to take that spot. Your squad is bloated, bro. You do.
You
need to
guys
cut
don't
down.
think we can get Rodrigo?
You know-
It's pure profit.
Rodrigo's
No,
available
you know,
for 80
so
million.
you know what?
So imagine getting rid of him for
Okay,
40 million, and you say, "Cool, I just need to put a 40 million more fee on him."
Rodrigo is only getting paid.
The thing is, Arsenal's main objective. Arsenal's main objective next season, more so than money, is to win the league. Right. What I would do is I would get rid of Trossard, sell him to wherever you can get whatever money. Yes, you may lose out a little bit financially. Keep hold of Martinelli, bring in another left winger, and bring in a striker. And yes, that may mean that one of them is unhappy, that Martinelli becomes unhappy for a season. But then I would maybe look at moving him on next summer, because the objective next season for Arsenal is win or die. And if that means you have to deal with an unhappy player and take a hit for 10 or 15 million for next summer, I'd do that. I'd say, Martinelli, suck it up. You're going to stay for this season. We're going to win the league. And and then we'll talk about it next season.
For once, all I ask is the club move proper. Go get what's needed. And if you guys are saying we're not going to get what's needed because it's been the history of the club, I'm not going to dispute you guys.
I think you can get what's needed. I think Arteta is your main issue right now, and also the way your ball operates. I'm going to say one thing. Remember when you said no to Nketiah because you wanted 50 million? Did you get your 50 million?
No.
Exactly. That's why you got. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got for me, he's got 2 years left with an option, 35 million with the wages on. You got the second highest wage in the league. You ain't got really much to show for that, to be fair. The squad is quite bleak in terms of overall quality.
United still have a higher wage bill than us.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you do.
I promise you, right now as it stands, we really don't. With Rashford goal,
you're probably looking at the accounts from last season. I think this season it may differ.
Yeah, without
because this season's accounts won't be released until December, January of next year. December of this year, January of next year.
Remember, you're looking at getting like these players that are gonna also command a big wage for you lot. For us, we're not looking at that. Like honestly, Rashford's going and he's
how many players are going to be leaving this club?
Yeah, but you're forgetting what players are already leaving my club or potentially leaving my club, and a lot of them are the ones that got big hit wages.
Kieran Tierney. I'm expecting Kieran Tierney, Zinchenko, Jorginho. That's 3 already. Plus Sterling, which we're paying half of his wages.
Which is mental.
Those are all gone. Plus, we're going to give Thomas.
They're not. None of them are massive earners, right? Like maybe Zinchenko might be on 150, 180.
We're going to give Thomas Partey reduced wages. We're going to be getting at least 2 more players in the attack. At least one more player in the field.
So let me ask you. So what if you go look at, let's say, Gyökeres and then Rodrigo? What do you think they're going to command?
I think Gyökeres and Rodrigo both will get around 200k a week.
Rodrigo will get more than that.
No.
Rodrigo's probably on less than 100k.
Yeah, trust me. He's going to look at, like, if my man's, his agent's going to look at, okay, Havertz is on that. My player's better than Havertz. Trust me, they're not dumb.
What's Rodrigo's wages now?
But guess what? It doesn't matter because I think he's worth every penny. It doesn't matter what his wages.
Rodrigo's wages now is one.
It doesn't. If you go and look at, if you're going to a new job, do you look at what you're getting paid now, or do you look at what they're going to pay you, or what your peers in that company are going to pay you? Yeah. So
it's not the point. It don't really matter. But to be fair, however you dress it, guy, it doesn't matter what wage he's on. He's worth every penny, bro. Just pay it. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Do you get it? Like there's no reason. I'm not even looking at pocket watching. You seem like you're doing well. Whatever you're doing at the moment at Arsenal, it looks like you're doing well. Whatever the structure is in it. So that's that. You're in a very healthy position. Regardless.
I personally think Arteta needs to take a step back from transfers and let Berta do his thing.
100%, 1,000,000%, bro.
Not saying like Berta to me is a bit like a bit Paratici-esque. Do you know what I mean? As in, like,
Paratici did a good job for you guys to bring you in some players.
yeah,
And then when he left, they all went left a little bit, innit?
What,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
okay, Joe, I've got a question about Paratici as well, actually. But anyway.
Paratici, you had a brilliant. That summer Paratici
He's
had
top,
the
right?
first Ange system. Oh, it was
nine
that was one of
out of the 11 players that played last night that started were bought under Paratici.
the, that's crazy when you mention it like that. Though
Nice start.
that makes me
But,
wonder. Is he the
how
right man
about
to
how
manage
did
them?
he come back?
Maybe.
Because he
could be. It was this transfer window happened without Paratici last year.
Yeah. He would never.
Yeah, he was on gardening leave or something.
Yeah, he's
no.
back.
What was it?
He was
He
under.
had a court
criminal
case or
case.
something like that, right?
Yeah, because of Juventus.
So he's back this summer. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do. Because
Is he officially back? Like,
yeah, he's back. He's back. He got.
I thought he'd gone.
You guys were like, he's a disgrace. We're getting rid of him.
I never said like that's what I always say about the hypocrisy about fans. It's like don't go too early because it's like it was Don Paratici months later. So I'm just like
I know what happened with Don Raul.
Also,
he got his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, but the thing is also you also have to bear in mind Berta has just come in. Berta is not going to be the be all and end all of your summer. You're going to see the fruits of Berta's labour or the failings of Berta's labour over the next 2 or 3 seasons because a lot of the scouting, a lot of the reports, all this kind of stuff would have been done before Berta's come in. So it's not like because you can't just have one man just like you do all this scouting for a whole season, watching players all over Europe, blah 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 blah, and then Berta just rocks up. No, I want him, because that doesn't work. The idea is you all need to be working together.
All right, going back to the Gyökeres Sesko thing, I think Arsenal will be making a big mistake if we go for Sesko over Gyökeres. We need to get ready-made players that can come in and make a massive difference. No more time for experiments and ceilings. We can't look at the ceilings anymore. We need to look at what can you offer us to raise our floor, let alone what you can do for the ceiling. Because at this point, we just need to go
the floor ceiling conundrum. What?
Yeah. Well, regardless, stop buying potential, man.
We always buy potential. I want Viktor Gyökeres because I feel like Viktor Gyökeres 50+ goals over the last couple of seasons. I don't know if Sesko's even going to reach
more than that. Over 100 odd goals, 124 was it? Something like that.
Goal involvements, yeah. I think Gyökeres right now is at a level where I don't know if Sesko in his prime would reach.
Exactly, that's what I said. The guy's got like 14 Bundesliga goals this year, and he plays in a 2-striker formation.
You guys are talking about Trossard. I have bigger issues than that. These guys might go and get me another project striker. And
it's always difficult when you're doing this kind of stuff because like I haven't seen Sesko play. What I do know is that generally speaking, RB Leipzig, they recruit well. They've had a really bad season this season.
How was the Boslo overall? How was the Boslo overall?
He's done okay. He's second seat this season. Obviously, everyone's done better this season.
65, 70 million for what he was priced at. He's a howler, man.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Think of it like this. The same amount they're asking for Sesko, potentially more, or what this is the exact same, if not less, or if not exact less. I think it's even less than what Sesko is offering. Is it really a difficult choice? You got either 55 million pounds there, or someone up they're teeing up to be a 60, 65 million package.
The thing is, you're gonna get a player from RB Leipzig, get their best player, Xavi Simons.
That's who they're looking at.
Is he their best player? Is he their best player, Egal? Leipzig have had a shocking season overall. So they've both been there. I don't know why all of us you're attributing all the bad shit to Sesko and all the good stuff to Xavi Simons. Like, the thing is, this is what people do with. This is what people do with what's his name from Lyon. Like they see him do a couple of skills and a couple of nice touches. I know, but the thing is, any big club could have bought him from Lyon in the winter window for 25 million. No one touched him.
Yeah, because he said no.
Once again, we've wanted Xavi Simons for years.
The club was willing to sell him. The club's in dire financial straits.
No, they begged him to stay as it goes.
No, John Textor, the owner, probably said that he was available. They're in massive financial problems.
Yeah, I know.
Xavi Simons since the age of 14.
He's just a
No
good
one
player.
cares. Listen, no one cares about the age of 14. They care about now.
Okay. When
The age of 14 is
2 years ago,
irrelevant.
when we were in Europa League and we played PSV,
2 years ago
he
is irrelevant. It's now.
him and Gakpo single-handedly beat us.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Hey,
like,
that's-
that's like 2-3 years ago. Who cares? Like, but I'm just saying,
I
like,
need
right
another
now,
player on my team.
What
right now, yeah, I'm right
in the
now.
immortal words of Eddie Murphy, what
But
have you done for me lately?
I'm not gonna, regardless.
I need more Mavericks. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless, it's not a difficult decision when one who's ready-made now for £55 million is scoring a ton of goals to someone that plays in a 2-striker formation, whose link-up ain't even all that, to be fair. Great in the air, don't get me wrong. Doesn't even score a lot of those goals, to be fair, for like 65 million. Like, I think, or yeah, more than that, to be fair. I think I know where I'm going to put my eggs in what basket right now. For someone that needs goals up top and they don't need anything at the back, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for the goal scorer.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do? Also, we're gonna spend money on a goalkeeper. Are these people stupid? Get me a budget. Get me a
But 1
budget.
minute, I thought Berta was the guy. Like,
No, Bert's
this is
smart. He told them we're not spending 25 million on a backup keeper. Get out of here.
what?
Yeah,
And then
literally.
they overruled him. What? Then
No,
like,
no, they're not. They're not. He wouldn't have accepted that job if he's getting overhauled. There's
yeah,
no
exactly. That doesn't make no
Also,
sense.
the backup keeper we wanted is now being wanted by Manchester United, Chelsea, City,
Newcastle.
and Barcelona as the #1 keeper.
Joan Garcia, I don't even want him. I want that giant from Torino.
No,
I want that our ex-goalkeeper, Milenkovic Savic. Is what do you mean? He's literally the best goalkeeper in the Serie A this year.
The Ukrainian guy at Real Madrid's not bad also.
Yeah, last year. Have you seen any of him lately?
No, he kind of fell off.
Yeah, well.
Why do we keep getting about this? 3 years ago when he was 17.
Bro, it's like you know what I hate about this year? There was what was it again? Who else? Nico Williams. Oh, they keep this Taki Kubo's another one. Bro, he had a decent time.
Nico
but right
Williams?
now, he's having a scrubby ass season.
I don't care about Nico Williams. I just want friggin' Rodrigo.
Get me the giant and goal, man.
Sure. That's like saying I don't want some ugly girl. I just want a supermodel. Like that's a prize.
If Arsenal's serious, they go all out and go get Rodrigo. If someone like that's available, you go and get that guy, man. I'm sorry, he's the creator. Like, imagine I don't even want to think about the thought. Yeah, what's supplying Gyökeres? Yeah, I expect Ødegaard to be 10 times the player he's been this season. By the way, I don't think he's crap. I think he's been a lot shit. I think you need someone to push him. I think he needs to be stripped of captaincy as well. I think he's a shit captain personally. I think Declan Rice, Gabriel's got much more qualities about them. You know, it comes down to preference. I don't think he shows his quality on the pitch either, right? I think you get better Ødegaard, one that doesn't have that responsibility, right? So he can still be his creative magnet. I think Ranieri's still a creative magnet, but then you got imagine having Rodrigo and Saka supplying a #9. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't sound good in my mind for what the league it could look like. But can Arteta coach that? We'll see. He should be able to because Arsenal still create chances regardless.
We'll see. But yo, before we go, Kaz, you got a show coming up. Make sure you send me the link. We're gonna be doing another show tomorrow with Wolfie. You're gonna be on Rack. We're gonna be talking about the top 5. We're gonna also have a Chelsea fan on. I'm gonna try to get an Aston Villa fan. I already got a Newcastle fan coming. What else do I need? Man City fan Vader in the building. So yeah, we kind of got a little bit of a hot pot of all the all the Liverpool fans, and everybody is going to be there. Also, we're going to be talking about the top 5, and we're gonna actually speak about Liverpool's transfers for Kerkez and what do you call it, Frimpong. But yeah, before
is this tomorrow? Is this on Sunday?
Tomorrow. Sunday. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of look over what happened on the final day. And then you get you finally get your guard of honor.
And then I get that's why I was aiming. Sunday guard of honor.
There you go. And yeah, so guys, I've redirected the video to Never a Foul. Kaz, we're gonna be headed over there now. Guys, do me a favor, please do join us over there. Jay, congratulations once again. Seriously, on a real one. You're one guy who's been facing a lot of stick on the channel for a while now.
Hey, bro, listen, I told you now, it's done. Like, I was making the joke before. I'm like, this winning trophy lock is kind of fun, isn't it? Maybe we might fuck around and win the European Super Cup. You know what I mean? Like, that's like I'm not gonna lie. Or
well,
maybe
Ange be there for the Super Cup. That's the question.
you know, we've done my work here is done kind of thing. It's almost like, well, we can probably dine out on this for another 5 years. Don't need to worry about winning. Works for you guys, doesn't it, Egal? You know, win a trophy.
Guys, go over to Never a Foul. Go over to Never a Foul and say Arteta in. Anyways, we're out of here, people.
No, that's
yeah.
That's
no. We do want Arteta. No, think about it logically. Think